Gambian Pan-Africanist Ousmane Touré said it is now high time for Africans to stand together and boost their cooperation for better representations at the international arena. Ousmane further talked to ETV that Pan-Africanism should be underpinned with concrete policies and principles in a way where young Africans get involved. Alula Taklamariam sat down with the young Pan-Africanist and compiled the following story. Take a look.
Connect Africa.
Ousmane Touré, a young Gambian Pan-Africanist, welcome to Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation, the English department. Can we say something about Pan-Africanism and how should you think that proceed from this?
Yes, I think the most important part is shifting or just moving forward from the discussion to the structures. Basically, the arguments are there. There's a lot of knowledge and scholarly works about Pan-Africanism, and people are really promoting this, though it has not really trickled down to all the masses and for everybody around the continent to be really aware on what are the fundamentals and the principles of Pan-Africanism. But moving to the structures will as well be really beneficial for the future that we want to build. Knowing that we can discuss about it, but what are the structures put in place to promote that Pan-Africanness among ourselves? Because the desire to integrate, the desire to move from one country to another without, being troubled, the desire for Africans to recognize each other, to have opportunities in different African countries can only be enhanced if the structures are put in place. So what I believe is the political will, our governments must be deliberate in their actions to invite Africans worldwide into the continent and give them similar opportunities, just like we are giving people outside of the continent. But build those structures and have the political will, have the laws and etc. that will protect Africans to invest in Africa, but to equally enjoy the blessings of the continent.
There is still efforts to harm Ethiopia's economics through various sanctions. How do you think Ethiopia should cope up with this and the cooperation of other African countries in helping Ethiopia?
Well, you see, one of the most difficult challenges that Africa has been going through is the fact that each country speaks individually. And when sanctions are levied on them, they do it on individual countries, and it really makes it difficult for them to strive. This is the home of the African Union. And the African Union is not just a structure. It has to be spiritual and based on founding principles in which the African Union was built upon. So Africa must speak with one voice, but there has to be a cooperation among African countries to say no when it is in the disadvantage of a single African country. How do we protect each other in the global market? How do we protect each other in the global space? Especially when it comes to politics and manipulation. We all know that there is no balance in international politics. And there are a lot of forces outside there that only looks at their interest in the continent. And Ethiopia have been a victim for so many years. It's high time that Africans, look forward to that brotherhood, that Ethiopia has always been the root and the founding principle of what Africa is. And we build upon that to voice, to speak with the same language, with the same tune, but to equally condemn where necessary.
What do you think Africa should learn from other continents like the Europe to boost their cooperations in various areas?
Yes, almost every country or almost every international organization is built on values and principles. Now, what are those values and principles, for instance? What was the African Union built upon? And if you look at the European Union or any other international organization, be it in Asia or different like the NICS and etc., all of them have principles in which they operate upon. And those principles includes giving priority to their own people. But not only that, protecting their own businesses. And the recent conflict between Russia and Ukraine is a justification that, everybody is promoting peace in that region, but at the same time not wanting to undermine their own interests. So what was the foundation? What was the principles? What were the values through which the African Union was built upon? How do we make sure that it's not a union where we own the structures in Africa, but a union that Africa owns, and everything it does depicts the African interest. So on moving forward, we have to understand that the African Union must represent Africa, and our African leaders should be conscious of some of these realities, that you're not voted in by people to represent a Chinese or to represent European or American. No, the people vote for you on task. People vote for you because you promise them development, you promise them employment, you promise that you will protect them. So not breaching this trust that people have upon you to the extent that they mobilize themselves with little or more resources, whatever they have, should be built upon, put in structures, put the will, and open up the space. Let African Union, African government be enablers and give a level playing ground for young Africans to realize their full potentials and capabilities in the continent.